It's not even about him winning the belt. I mean, how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong. Yeah, especially the White House card.
There's a lot of rumors out there. Let's dispel a couple of them. First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the ball.
Something about the situation doesn't quite add up. According to Jon Jones, the real issue centers around information that Dana White allegedly didn't want made public. Jones claimed he told Dana months ago that he had no plans to face Tom Aspinall and intended to vacate his titles. Yet, according to him, the UFC chose to keep that detail under wraps.
Jon Jones says he wants to be on there too, and he says he would fight whoever the champion is at that time. But would you be okay with him coming back and potentially winning that belt again? And you might have to go through.
Well, it's not even about him winning the belt. How I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong. Yeah, especially the White House card.
Training partner's just got to the UFC, so like he's potentially like 2 or 3 wins away from like a title shot. I would be like, I'll vacate it and he can have his time.
You know what I think about that before you even ask me. I hate that.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. I mean, could you imagine if you're Tom Aspinall listening?
The MMA community is buzzing after reports surfaced that Dana White has lost his cool following comments from Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, who both hinted at issues inside the UFC. For years, fans have accused Dana of showing favoritism toward Jones, defending him through controversies, failed drug tests, and legal troubles. But things appear different now. Dana has publicly shifted his stance, claiming he no longer trusts Jones enough to headline what could be the biggest card in UFC history, the highly anticipated White House event. Despite Jones being seen by many as the American GOAT, Dana reportedly isn't willing to put him in that spotlight.
Do you think about that?
Oh, my friend and training partner's just got to the UFC, so like he's potentially like 2 or 3 wins away from like a title shot. So the thing is, if I'd never won a title, I'd never touched gold before, we would have to fight. And now I've done it, I would be like, I'll vacate it and he can have his time.
You know what I think about that before you even ask me. I hate that. Many friends, relatives, name it, have all fought each other before. It doesn't determine whether you are friends with somebody or you hate somebody. You're competing against them to see who the best is, but that's his decision, to even think about vacating it because you don't want to compete against somebody is absolutely insane, but he's a grown man. That's up to him.
Because again, it was such a good fight. It was such an entertaining fight. And you see now people saying all this kinds of, craziness, all kinds of craziness regarding Tom wanting out, Tom getting beat up, Tom, being a coward, being heartless, gutless, and just forgetting about everything this guy's done. By the way, this guy took a fight on 10 days notice, 14 days notice against Sergey Pavlovich, saved your ass at Madison Square Garden. Literally saved the card. And now we know what this is all about. His dad talks about wanting to take a fight, fight out the contract, 3 left, let's go to boxing. And he says in an interview, Tom does, I wouldn't fight Ante Delia. I'd rather vacate. That's my friend. That's my teammate. Oh my God. Literally the two things that would piss Dana White off more than anything. And so most predictable thing is that he would show up at the press conference not backing his guy at all. Not backing his guy at all. I mean, you had to know that this was going to happen. Forget the fact that he took the fight against Pavlovich on 10 days notice. Forget the fact that he was the backup fighter against, when John fought Stipe last November. Forget the fact that he, was ready and willing to fight Jon Jones at any moment this year. That he was a good soldier, that he never threw the UFC under the bus, that he never complained openly, that he was just doing all the right things, saying all the right things. Forget all of that. Oh no, he won't fight his teammate. And his dad says in a sort of off-the-cuff comment, I don't even know if that was an interview or not, he says, yeah, I want him to fight out the contract and then go to boxing. Ah, the horror. The audacity. The chutzpah. And so, like I said, the UFC is going to be able to rebook this fight. It's going to be huge.
It was easily one of the most humble and respectful statements ever made by a fighter. But Dana White didn't take it that way. In a recent interview, Dana bluntly said, "I hate that idea." There was no acknowledgement, no praise, and not even a hint of respect for Tom Aspinall as the reigning heavyweight champion. At the UFC 321 post-fight press conference, the lack of respect went even further. When asked about Tom's brutal eye poke injury, Dana brushed it off entirely and instead focused on Cyril Gaines' performance, praising how sharp and dominant he looked. Not a single mention of the deep double eye poke, the hospital trip, or the fact that Tom could barely see for days. Even Tom's father, Andy Aspinall, later confirmed that his son's eye was still gray and healing slowly.
I mean, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, you know, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, you know? And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like I'm at a place now where, you know, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my body doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger.
There is this thing that's always followed your career where, like, even before you got in the UFC, you couldn't seem to get fights, right? People didn't want to fight you. And then now, even as champion, you have John Jones and Alex trying to fight each other but not fight you. Did you ever think there'd be a moment where you could be in this position and still have guys trying to sort of circumnavigate you and fight other people?
No, there's still guys. There's still guys who want it. Maybe just not the bigger names. You know, those guys have done enough to do whatever they want. So I'm the champion, fight the number one contender. That's how, in my opinion, that's how champions are supposed to work. It's like, you're the guy, you fight the next guy, prove you're the best, and you rinse and repeat that for as long as possible.
The UFC, Jones claims, kept everyone in the dark, from the fans and media to Tom Aspinall himself, just to maintain the hype. When the truth eventually surfaced, Dana White reportedly lost his temper. But that wasn't the only reason behind his frustration. Dana's anger also seemed to stem from Tom Aspinall's honesty, something he's not always known to appreciate. Aspinall openly stated that if his close friend Ante, a fellow heavyweight, ever rose high enough in the rankings to challenge for the title, he would vacate his belt and allow him the chance to fight for it instead.
So they've announced this White House UFC fight. Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have very strong feelings that I'll be on that card. It's going to be historic.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Any possible names you think?
Well, no, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall, but we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. Be only fitting to have an American guy fight for the championship that night. I'd be willing to put it all on the line.
Nice.
What the f is he doing? The left one was really deep. Both up. The left one was really both up. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. You got one for it. Yeah, twice before he got one for it.
Mike Bisping, he lost his eye. It's just a horrendous thing to think as a parent, really. And I know what it's like these days with people saying what they want, but if it's just your son and they could lose an eye and their health and they've got children to look after, you know, something needs doing about it. Yeah, it's horrendous for me to look.
And laid there on his back until John submitted him. Against the cage, Garn was sat there, not moving, not bucking, not shifting or fighting hands, sitting there like this until John locked up the guillotine on him. I'm very aware of what happened in that fight, and do I wish Tom would have finished him earlier? I do, without resistance. That was the ideal circumstance for Tom Aspinall, was to finish Cyril Garn with no resistance in the first round. I think we see an overconfident Garn in the rematch, and I think Tom smokes him, but Tom was raging. So there's an emotional aspect to this rematch now that I'm worried about, because I've been looking for Bully Tom to make an appearance for a very long time, you guys. For a very long time, I've been waiting for Bully Tom to make an appearance. And, he made the appearance on, what the fuck you guys booing me for? He genuinely made an appearance in the post-fight speech. The fuck you guys booing me for? I got fucking double eye poked. A double eye poke landed. Insane. Crazy. Horrible result for the main event. Worst case scenario. All things come together. It's weird how MMA works, is it not? Dirtiest fighter on the heavyweight roster, Cyril Gane, constantly cheats every single fight. He's a dirty little French cunt. John Jones is the nemesis of Tom Aspinall.
First of all, thank you so much for stopping by. Super difficult moment. Can I get your immediate reaction, please?
I don't know exactly. Just disappointed. We put a lot of energy, like I say, and I'm just sorry because at first for me, but also for the people, for Aspinall, for everybody. This is the law of the sport. Sometimes this happening. I remember this happening also for myself. It's like that. It's like that.
For people that didn't see the build-up to this fight, all the programs, etc., can you just let people know the kind of investment and the commitment you made to preparing for this fight?
Yeah, that's why I'm really a bit disappointed because of the energy, the sacrifice, all of this, and unfortunately, this happening. If there are not issue, he win or I win, like okay, this is but like that, no, I'm not happy about this.
You did have 3 minutes or so in the octagon with Tom Aspinall, caused some damage. You know, from your thoughts, you've been in there, you felt him a little bit. Like, what did you learn?
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful fight. This is exactly what I expected from Tom. Exactly what I expected for myself. Also, we did very well. I think I'm gonna watch that. But yeah.
Tom's father has already made it clear. Once his son's current 3-fight contract is complete, he wants him to walk away from the UFC entirely and transition to boxing, where he believes Tom will finally earn real money and genuine respect. Tom has echoed that sentiment himself, saying he only plans to fight 3 more times, most likely against Volkov, Almeida, and whoever holds the heavyweight title after that, and then he's finished. It's a telling sign of what's happening behind the scenes. The cracks are showing, and the UFC seems to be burning from within as more fighters grow tired of how things are being run.
It was really bad how it looks, and he said you can't train your eyeball to be stronger. It is what it is. With protection here and here, but he obviously got no protection because the fingers were straight in. The fight should have been stopped. He couldn't see. It was a foul. He couldn't see. Then you can't fight. You know, if he'd have got knocked out with a head kick next, then it would have been worse. I don't know. And then he said, sometimes when your eyes here like that, it can become displaced and stay there. And they did a few tests on that, and they said it doesn't seem like that. And his vision on the eye that's the best eye.
And laid there on his back until John submitted him. Against the cage, Gane was sat there, not moving, not bucking, not shifting or fighting hands, sitting there like this until John locked up the guillotine on him. I'm very aware of what happened in that fight, and do I wish Tom would have finished him earlier? I do, without resistance. That was the ideal circumstance for Tom Aspinall, was to finish Cyril Gane with no resistance in the first round. I think we see an overconfident Gane in the rematch, and I think Tom smokes him, but Tom was raging. So there's an emotional aspect to this rematch now that I'm worried about, because I've been looking for Bully Tom to make an appearance for a very long time, you guys. For a very long time, I've been waiting for Bully Tom to make an appearance. And he made the appearance on, what the fuck you guys booing me for? He genuinely made an appearance in the post-fight speech. The fuck you guys booing me for? I got fucking double eye poked. A double eye poke landed. Insane. Crazy. Horrible result for the main event. Worst case scenario. All things come together. It's weird how MMA works, is it not? Dirtiest fighter on the heavyweight roster, Cyril Gane, constantly cheats every single fight. He's a dirty little French cunt. John Jones is the nemesis of Tom Aspinall.
They've done that on the UFC broadcast, by the way, and humiliated Cyril Gane for what he was fucking doing. That doesn't happen by accident. And you can hear Aspinall's team, what the fuck is this? A double poke? I just think Cyril Gane's a dirty fucking cheat. I'm disgusted in that, like. I'm fucking disgusted. Because you can fucking take someone's eyesight for life doing that shit. All because the pressure's getting you and you're feeling the heat. What the fuck are you doing in there then? There should be a fine in the suspension for that level of shit, in my opinion. Because if you're going to fight like that, you're going to fucking blind people. But let's take a look at what Dana White had to say.
Damon and Mike Heck were having a conversation, and I read the transcript, and Mike Heck was very hard on Chael. Now, Mike gets a pass because Mike always backs Chael. So the fact that Mike was saying, hey, Chael, you got this right, it kind of made me listen. I kind of pay a little bit more attention because I know how supportive he has been. And Tom's stock going down. Let's take a look at that. So let me give you some numbers, okay? Numbers don't lie. My partner's DraftKings had Tom at one point, and it was, you'd have to check the chart, it was a spike in the graph, but they had him on fight day a 3.5 to 1 favorite. It did not close at that. But Tom actually went up, became a larger favorite after the face-offs at the weigh-in. Okay, when the fight goes off, he was actually inside of 3 to 1, but let's just call it 3 to 1. When my partners at DraftKings come out with a new line for the fight that is eventually going to take place, it's going to be close. There will be times, I mean, if they were to do it today and money starts coming in, they take action, that Surreal could be the favorite. Try to imagine that. So when we talk about Tom's stock dropping, that's a very tough claim. I mean, on those hands, a guy that was a 3.5 to 1 favorite that is now the underdog, you'd think that his stock dropped. But the anticipation to see Tom versus Surreal was very small, guys. That pay-per-view did not.
Remained completely silent. No statement. No support. No concern shown publicly. It's becoming clear that Dana's priority isn't protecting fighters anymore. It's protecting his own image. Both Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones have now pulled back the curtain on how the UFC controls narratives, hides key information, and fails to look after its own champions when things go wrong. Tom spent over a year waiting for that fight, dealing with constant scheduling delays from the organization. And when the bout finally happened, instead of empathy, he was called a quitter by his own boss after suffering a legitimate medical emergency. Now, fans are starting to recognize the pattern, the same one that drove Francis Ngannou to walk away, tired of the lack of respect and fair treatment. If things continue this way, Tom Aspinall might be the next fighter to follow that same path.
I just walked out of watching this fight. I'm out here on campus. ESPN is right out my window if you find that interesting. All right. I share that with you because I'm mad. I'm mad. But I don't know who I'm mad at. Tom did not do anything wrong. Tom was poked in the eye. As a matter of fact, he was poked in both eyes. Now, I don't believe Surreal did that on purpose. So, I also can't, or am not mad at Surreal. But I am mad. I'm looking for somebody to blame. But I don't quite know who to blame. Now, before we get to that, okay, there was a pretty interesting fight going on. The story going into this fight is Tom has the power to just go knock him out. We're not saying Tom's a better kickboxer. We get that Surreal did that for many years of his life. We get that Surreal had over 30 professional kickboxing bouts. But Tom, a little younger, a little bigger, shown to have a little bit better power if you just want to look at results, and has the ability to knock him out. However, if Tom tests that and doesn't knock him out, he'll just take him down and beat him up.
Yeah, I don't really like the notion of that either. It didn't look like he won and then he's getting a title shot. I think people are a little bit sour about that. I just want to fight. I want to be as active as possible. I want to fight as much as frequently as I possibly can. Yeah, I just want to get back to what.
Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall have pulled back the curtain on what many have long suspected, a promotion driven by favoritism, control, and a lack of respect for its own athletes. Dana White's temper appears to have reached its limit, and for the first time, fans are watching as the UFC's image begins to crack under the weight of its own actions.